Don't assume it was left by accident. If you see something, say something.
President Dick Cheney takes a question from David Rockefeller.
Vice President, I just enjoyed so much your whole speech, but I was particularly pleased that you gave such a strong endorsement for the free trade agreement for all the Americans. Subject that has been of great concern to me for many years, and particularly recently, and I think it's absolutely essential for the strength of our economy.
We are in process of developing a whole series of techniques which will enable the controlling oligarchy to get people actually to love their servitude. People can be made to enjoy a state of affairs which, by any decent standard, they ought not to enjoy.
Perhaps you had better start from the beginning. Perhaps you had better start from the beginning. Perhaps you had better start from the beginning.
Too many kids are what's making the planet worse.
A lot of these kids come from bad gene pools. They don't have stable parents making good decisions.
Mercury-containing vaccines may help, not harm kids, according to 2 new studies in the journal Pediatrics. These new studies suggest that the opposite, that the preservatives may actually be associated with improved behavior and mental performance.
Fluoride in water is supposed to fight tooth decay, but could it also cause cancer?
Turns out the government had the right under U.S. law to conduct secret testing on the American public under specific conditions.
The tests themselves were a lot of smoke. The planes would let out like a smoke or gas type of thing, and it would also cover the ship.
The crew was given gas masks and told not to worry.
Government-sponsored experiments did take place at hospitals, universities, and military bases around our nation. Some were unethical, not only by today's standards, but by the standards of the time in which they were conducted.
There's a need for a new world order. Someday, in the next few years, a solution will emerge.
We Are Change with host Howard Nema, exposing the collectivist global elite's Malthusian quest for a new world order. A one-world dictatorial government where all aspects of human life are under their control. Truth Talk Radio, where news the mainstream media ignores is the top story and your voice is heard. We Are Change, Fridays from 1 to 3 p.m. and Saturdays from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hosted by Howard Nema. Only on informedradio.com. That's NFORMD radio.com. We must be the change we wish to see in the world. We Are Change with Howard Nema. Every Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. and every Saturday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only on NFORMDradio.com. That's We Are Change with Howard Nema. Fridays, 1 to 3 p.m. and Saturdays, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only on InformedRadio.com.
Afternoon, everybody. Hope things are well. Looks like nothing major happened yesterday that could be considered a world-altering event. There's always the deception. People were looking for it, so I still sort of have a little bit of fear of some bad things that may be happening. Certainly a lot of confusion the other day with the emergency broadcast system that was taken over by Reichsland Security. Yes, that's right. Big Sis originally mandated it to be for 3 minutes. And people were upset about that because why are they testing this thing for 3 minutes? And they complained. Then they said it would be reduced to 30 seconds. Of course, 30 seconds, it was actually less than that. I listened to it. I wish I could have filmed what I was listening to. I didn't. But a lot of people did, and it was just garbled up stuff, and there was noise in the background and all sorts of distortions. And I think that really what it did is by shortening it, whatever it was they were trying to accomplish didn't give them enough time adequate time to achieve whatever it was they were doing. So there was much confusion since some stations didn't have any signals. Some of them had longer transmissions than others. This is actually an article from the AFP. The first national test of a U.S. national alert system. What do you mean first test? This is not the first test. They do these tests since I was a kid. It's the first time Reichland Security has controlled the airwaves to take over and, intrude upon our lives. And they're going to be doing this with cell phone alerts and all sorts of other nice ways to just remember that Big Brother is always watching and looking out for you. It's just scary as all hell. So anyway, there's a lot of confusion, and many Americans were left confused, and some said the system failed its goal to reach all broadcasters, and that's absolutely true. Many people were watching television and heard the familiar scratchy noises, but others apparently did not. So that's a big issue. Certainly was a strange... Yeah?
Yeah, this is John Smith. Are you guys live now?
Yes, we are. You are live on the air, John. How are you, John?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. We've chatted before a few times. I got to call in on the show. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
What are we talking about today?
Well, right now I'm just going over some news. I was planning on covering the North American Union meeting that's going to be on Monday with King Obama in Hawaii, his supposed home state.
Oh, right.
They're going to be discussing... Go ahead.
This is a little... this might be off topic then, but I was just thinking... Well, I guess it's on topic because we're talking about war, because obviously we're throughout the world flexing our imperial muscle here, or muscles, and it occurred to me that these wars, in and of themselves, the reason we don't have like a total third world war like everyone's looking after, or looking out for like Armageddon or something like that, is because it's not a matter of the war itself. The wars are just distractions to control your mind. If you see where I'm going.
Yes, I mean, well, again, it's part of their control, but it greases the engine of control, and this is how they seize their corporate control over the infrastructures that they need to, as well as the military control for the looking at the police state over the people. So I would agree with you a lot there, John. It's certainly true, but war is a means, not an end. It's a continuous thing. Again, Obama's dropping love bombs as we speak, for humanitarian assistance. And I did cover quite a bit. I have some stuff on that. I mean, there's just so much stuff going on overseas, as well as here at home. I mean, we're under attack right here, John. Where are you from, John?
Charlotte, North Carolina. We're going to be housing the big old DNC come 2012, and I'm trying to get some. I'm not I'm pretty much apolitical, or as Joe Talente says, a political atheist. But I am going to try to get some Ron Paul, a little bit of a Ron Paul rally going on as the counter movement, or just to open people's eyes up as they come to the convention here, because it's pretty much they're building this. Charlotte has been least hit of many of the other cities throughout the nation. So it's kind of a distorted view of our nation as a whole to begin with. But there's, so a lot of people from around the world have poured money into here, but also they're pouring money in here to make everything look perfect for the DNC coming up, because a lot of Americans, especially in the middle of America, Northeast, are in a really dire straits situation right now. And that's what I'm getting when I talk to people at the university from other parts of the country, is that there's just a lot of, it's not perfect here, but there's a lot worse everywhere else, is what I'm saying.
You hit it right on the head. In fact, that is an absolute fact. It's interesting how they pick their locations to be where situations are bad across the country, but actually, yes, Charlotte, that area, Chapel Hill, North Carolina is all, college state, college town. It's not as bad. In fact, your housing is stronger. You have less foreclosures. You have a better standard of living. It's absolutely true. I was trying to convince my wife she didn't want to move that far away from her family, but I mean, it would be the place to go personally, if you ask me. I know it gets hot down there, though, John, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Now, and me, myself, since I'm not necessarily part of the world upper elite echelon there that they got, I can see the change in the economy even here, though, even under the goods, a good scenario like that. So I definitely feel it. It's just that some people out there who haven't personally experienced what's going on really on a global scale, they might be a little stunned when you give them information like this. So,
well, that's true. What's the unemployment rate? What's the unemployment rate down there? It's probably lower than the national average, right?
I don't. Well, see, the state itself is actually has high unemployment because you got to figure we have like the Cherokee Mountains, the Cherokee Indians, the mountain region, which is vastly impoverished. We have a lot of rural areas. Still, once you get outside the cities, there's still a lot of rural area and people who just are very poor, especially up in the mountain area, and also out towards the coast. You have a lot of poverty up that way.
Wow. Right. But you're right. I mean, they choose these areas like, that Detroit is the place where there's a lot of problems. And, why don't they have these conventions in Detroit, where the people are really suffering and show that they're going to do something? Because it is all just that, John, a show. It is such a joke. Ladies and gentlemen who are listening, anybody that's not aware, both political parties, John's very much on the mark, not being like a political atheist, because there is no such thing. It's a farce. It is a false paradigm where people with the ideologies of less spending and powerful military and all of this, they're grouped into one corner, and then other people that are saying, oh, we got to help feed the poor and take care of the needy and doing all this, and they're roped in another corner, controlled by the very same interests who move this New World Order agenda along.
And I encourage anyone out there to be a student of history as well, because these type of panics and occurrences, not only do they happen in like the Great Depression. I'm writing a lot of my papers and work on them. We're going to do the book right now, but I'm writing a lot of it about going back to the, even in the 1890s, and when there was always this continual debate about, having sound currency, and where these other powers from abroad and at home try to manipulate the currency to hurt the people here at home. And I was actually listening to the inaugural speech of FDR, the famous one, Nothing to Fear But Fear Itself. And he actually talks quite, extent about the fact that, this banker elite who's crippling the nation. I know he does a lot of, I think, he was actually a pragmatist, so I don't think a lot of these organizations that say, well, FDR started all this, so we're going to have this unlimited, endless bureaucratic mess. I don't think he would have endorsed what's going on today, right now, because he would see, first of all, that it's not working. That was his main point. If something's not working, then you scrap it and go do something else. And we've been trying the same thing, Bernanke and all of them have been trying the same thing for, at least 30 years, pretty hardcore, and they've gotten nothing but ruinous results out of it. So I just think it's bad overall. The other thing I want to talk about is you have the reason Charlotte, I hate to jump back and forth there, but Charlotte, North Carolina is the new home for, or the new other corporate entity arm of Wells Fargo, which took over Wachovia.
Right.
And you have both
the drug launderers, yes. Yes.
Perhaps you had better start from the beginning. Perhaps you had better start from the beginning.
Too many kids are what's making the planet worse.
A lot of these kids come from bad gene pools. They don't have stable parents making good decisions.
The endorsement for the free trade agreement for all the Americans, subject that has been of great concern to me for many years, and particularly recently, and I think it's absolutely essential for the strength of our economy.
We are in process of developing a whole series of techniques which will enable the controlling oligarchy to get people actually to love their servitude. People can be made to enjoy a state of affairs which, by any decent standard, they ought not to enjoy.
Perhaps you had better start from the beginning.
Containing vaccines may help, not harm kids, according to 2 new studies in the journal Pediatrics. These new studies suggest that the opposite, that the preservatives may actually be associated with improved behavior and mental performance.
Fluoride in water is supposed to fight tooth decay, but could it also cause cancer?
Turns out the government had the right under U.S. law to conduct secret...
Don't assume it was left by accident. If you see something, say something.
President Dick Cheney takes a question from David Rockefeller.
Vice President, I just enjoyed so much your whole speech, but I was particularly pleased that you gave such a strong